Hello, my name is Alana King, and I'm getting my master's in teaching English to speakers of other languages from Grand Canyon University. Today, I would like to talk to you and share with you my action research project. First, I looked at my own students in the classroom to decide where were struggling. I noticed that several of my students had difficulty with spelling. I decided that I would like to see that if intervention would help increase test scores in the struggling spellers. The first thing that I would do is that I would give a baseline assessment to my entire class to see who were the struggling spellers and who weren't. I would then take my group of the struggling spellers and divide them up. I would have them into a test group and a control group. My control group would not receive any additional interventions and would just receive the basic spelling instruction with the rest of the class. Over a 9-week period, I would then take and collect pre-test and post-test scores for all of my students. My test group would receive additional intervention during RTI time. During this time, myself or another adult in the classroom would give instruction on spelling words. These words would be divided into different spelling families, meaning that they have similar characteristics, such as similar blends or similar endings, such as ing or ang, and so forth. The plan would be that on Monday, after our pretest, we would sit down and have color coding instruction with the words. That means that we would look at those spelling similarities in the word families and color code them. So the ing might be a different color, or the BLs, different things like that would have different colors. We would then work through the week on different activities based on those colors. We would have note cards in which we could spell out different words. We would have worksheets where we would write the words using the same colors, using the colored pencils or markers. We would also have computer programs that help specifically with spelling in those spelling families. On Friday, a post-test would be given to the entire class using the same words that were studied throughout the week, and the students who received the intervention can use the colored pencils to write their words that they had already learned. After that, I would take the pretest and post-test scores, see if there was an increase in those, especially who received the intervention, and record that. I would do that for 9 weeks. At the end of the 9 weeks, I would evaluate and look to see if the intervention of color coding words helped my struggling spellers. And I believe that we would see success with them. I did research and I found a few different people who actually use similar techniques in helping their struggling spellers. One person was Alyssa Asball. She did a research study entitled Multi-Sensory Techniques in Spelling Instruction, an action research study for students with dyslexia, and she attended the Otterbein University. She specifically studied how color coding words with a student would affect the way in which he was able to spell. She had great success with this technique. Another person that I studied was Gara Awanda and Mark Gutierrez Colon. They published The Effect of Inclusion versus Segregation on Reading Comprehension on EFL Learners with Dyslexia, the Case of Lebanon. This was published in the English Language Teaching Journal. They found that students who were in inclusion classes but received supplemental instruction with additional learning techniques performed better than those who did not have those additional techniques. Finally, I looked at the research done by Reinhard Wirth in his research article entitled Rapid Improvement of Reading Performance in Children with Dyslexia by Altering the Reading Strategy, a novel approach to diagnosis and therapy of reading and deficiencies, which was published in the Restorative Neurology and Neuroscience Journal. He studied how adding therapy and learning a new technique can increase word recognition. Students who had this technique, of course, performed much better than those who did not. Overall, the stakeholders in this would be my students, especially those who were those struggling spellers, And not only those that were in my test group, but then also my control group, because I would be able to take the techniques that worked for my test group and apply it to my whole class. Also, other stakeholders would include administration and other teachers. I would be happy to share my results with them, explaining step by step what I did and showing them pre-test and post-test scores to show how the students who had the colored coding, spelling words, and those techniques during RTI actually did much better than those who did not have the techniques and that were struggling spellers. Overall, I hope that my students would gain the ability to be better spellers and more confidence in spelling because of this outcome. Once again, my name is Alana King. Thank you for watching.